Well, hey, pedal people, it's Pedal Guy here. How you doing? Do you have questions about your favorite pedals and gear? Well, you've come to the right place because this is Questions and Answers, episode 15, and we're going to get started right now. Well, hey, it's Scott the Pedal Guy here, where we're all about pedal demos, pedal knowledge, and pedal sales. I love pedals, and so do you. Now, before we get started, if this is your first visit to our channel, make sure you take a second and click on that subscribe button down there and ring that bell so you can stay up to date with all of our videos. And if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, be sure to like and follow us so you can stay up to date with all of our activities because we do post daily and we'd love to hear from you. Well, this is my weekly show where I take your pedal questions, feedback, comments, and try to answer them to the best of my ability. Let's get to it. Our first question comes to us from Kato Liu, and it's in regard to the mini core pedals from Newx. And Kato writes, how do you switch between true and buffered bypass? Well, thank you for your question. It's very simple. Let's use this pedal as an example. This is a Newx Morningstar. Let's assume that it's in buffered bypass and we want to set it to true bypass. All we have to do is first unplug the unit, hold down the foot switch, and keep on holding it while you plug it back in. When the pedal powers up, it will be in buffered bypass. That's literally all there is to it. Isn't that easy? Our next question comes to us from DeGroof, and it's in regard to the Ampero 1. And DeGroof asks, is there one you would recommend? The Ampero 1 or the larger version? Thank you very much for the question. And really it comes down to a matter of a few factors. One, do you need the fourth foot switch? If so, then you probably need to go with the larger Ampero. Do you need the balanced XLR outputs? If the answer to that question is yes, you want to go with the Ampero. If you need the input selector to go between electric guitar, acoustic guitar, and keys, then you're going to want to go with the full-blown Ampero. That's at least the way I would look at it. As far as like the patches and all that, it's exactly the same. As far as that works out. And if you do choose to go with the smaller Ampero, just know that eventually, in about 30 days from now, we should have the Ampero switches in stock, the new little foot switch extender that's coming out. And you'll be able to add that to either the Ampero 1 or the Ampero to give you 2 additional foot switches to play with. So if you do buy the Ampero 1 and then you start finding yourself jonesing for that fourth foot switch, well, this external foot switch might actually be the solution to that problem. But in any case, that's the way I would look at it. So let us know if you have any further questions, but thanks so much. Our next question comes to us from Joel, and it's in regard to the Trio Tuesday series. For next Trio Tuesdays, actually he wrote Thursdays, but it's Tuesdays, Joel, I would like to hear So Far Away from Avenged Sevenfold. Joel, thank you very much for the suggestion. And truthfully, I'm not all that familiar with the catalog, but I will absolutely look into it. And as long as it's a song that's not going to get us demonetized on YouTube, copyright claims, I did a video on this on our Facebook page. You might want to have a look at that because it's very interesting stuff. When you want to do cover songs, you want to make sure you do it the right way. Otherwise, you can get yourself into a lot of hot water with YouTube and Facebook and everybody else. So just make sure you look at that. Once we have that cleared and it's a song I can handle, I don't see why not. So be on the lookout for that in a future Trio Tuesday. Our next comment comes to us from Shirley Allen, and it's in regard to creating presets with the Ampero. And Shirley writes, what sounds terrible is very subjective. I turn the cab block off for some dirty tones and just tweak the EQ. Sounds great to me. Well, Shirley, that is great feedback, and thank you very much for it. I appreciate it. And, that's something to keep in mind, guys, is that just because I may say it sounds terrible, or I might not do it the traditional way, or I might stick to the traditional way, doesn't mean you have to, okay? You can do basically whatever you want, which is the beauty of working with something like the Ampero, or if working with something like the Head Rush, or with the Helix. Allegedly, I haven't used a Helix, so I can't tell you. But the reality is, this technology just opens up so many sonic possibilities that just really weren't there ever when I was starting to learn how to play guitar all the way back there in the 80s. So it's fantastic to know that all this technology exists and that you can work with different cabinets and different amps really at the click of a button, and it sounds very convincing and it sounds great. So, Shirley, thank you very much for your feedback. I do appreciate it. Our next comment comes to us from Victory Gin, and it's in regard to the new Exlacerate. And Victory Gin writes, considering this one, I own the new Cerberus, incredible pedal of which the clean boost was one of the best features. Really fattened up the tone of my telly, giving it a lot of thunk. Well, Victory, thank you very much for the feedback. I completely agree with you as far as how it sounds. I'm a telly guy myself. I love my telly. And I can only just say that the Lacerate is really cool. What really is great about it, though, is it's got the secondary boost built into it as well. So you don't just get one tone with it. You actually get two tones with it, and that's pretty cool. So for the price point, you get the standard boost, and then you get boost number 2, which has got a little more grit to it. So in a way, it can actually be a bit of an overdrive. But, you know, give it a try. And we did do a video on that with all of the little mini core pedals at the time. And I will leave a link in the video description below so you can check it out for yourself. And now it's time for our Facepalm of the week. And this is in regard to the NUX B3 wireless mic adapter. And Workdays comments, too much talking. Get to the point. Glad I fast forward. Well, first I'll say, secondly, I will say thank you very much for the feedback. I totally get it. And if you have noticed, a lot of our videos are pretty condensed these days. I try to keep it at under 10 minutes in total. In fact, that video was under 7 minutes, as I recall. Yes, absolutely. We'll see what we can do about trying to rejigger those things around a little bit. But we do try to make it pretty obvious from the thumbnail and from the title what's actually in the video content. So you can just jump to whatever you want to. You can needle drop to any part of the video you want. But I get your point. Thank you very much for that feedback. I appreciate it. And hope we'll hear from you again in the near future. Now, for those of you out there who are not familiar with the B3, if you're a singer in a band and you need a wireless adapter solution for your onstage performances, the B3 is a really great solution. Plus, there's also the mobile edition that comes for free when you buy it so that you can use it with your mobile phone. So for more information on that, just make sure to visit us at the Pedal Guy on that point, and we'll leave a link, obviously, so you can check it out for yourself. Thank you very much. All right, that wraps up this edition of Questions and Answers. Please keep those questions coming because we can't do a questions and answers sessions without questions. So it's a pretty easy, straightforward process, isn't it? Just use the comment section below and let us know. And you may end up on next week's episode or an upcoming episode down the road. But for more information on any of the pedals that we've discussed or any other products, please visit us at thepedalguy.com. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks and have a great day.